Terrorist Podcast. I'm your host, Master Cheeze. Coming in from you live from my one and only vehicle this time. I thought about doing an impromptu or a just random voice memo / podcast. I really want to touch on a very important subject. It's a subject that many of you are aware about, or many of you may not be aware about, but it's the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, I know as you hear that name, you may think we're still talking about these guys. Unfortunately, yes, we are. The Los Angeles Clippers are still relevant at this moment in time. But this subject also taps to other organizations similar to the Los Angeles Clippers. Kawhi Leonard is arguably one of the best basketball players in the NBA right now. Bearing injury, he's untouchable. But that will never tell you the whole picture. Kawhi has been battling injuries throughout this 2023, 2024 NBA season. And the strange thing about it is, like I've been talking to my other podcasts, no one really is listening still. Kawhi Leonard has been playing amazing basketball, shouldering a load for the Clippers. But in these games, they're winning by a slim margin. And Kawhi Leonard is doing it all. He's rebounding, he's blocking shots, and he's scoring. It's a triple trifecta. But how much can your star player shoulder the load with a history of injury? How does this really work? If you really sit down to really think the logistics of it all, if you think about the short-term and the long-term success for Kawhi Leonard, this formula is not good. And partly why it's not good is because the Los Angeles Clippers medical staff don't know how to handle a situation like this. This isn't a slight on them. This isn't to say that they are not capable to handle Kawhi Leonard's situation. It's just saying that there's another level that they can achieve. See, Kawhi Leonard is suffering from what's called neurological compensations. These compensations lead to injury. Now, when I say compensations, they may not be to the eye as one may think. It's not like a older gentleman walking with a hunchback and you can tell he's compensated. No, these are very slight. These are as slight as a limp. If you watch basketball, if you've ever watched Kawhi Leonard play basketball, you'll see he has a slight limp. This limp, with anyone, will always show you that there's a neurological compensation occurring. Now, I won't dig deep into why that is. If you're interested, I can explain that now. But overall, neurological compensations are most important when it comes to game. But I'll keep forward with what I'm saying. Kawhi Leonard is experiencing neurological compensations. So when these compensations build up over time, they lead to what's called these aches, these pains, these nagging injuries. You know, muscle is muscle, tendons are tendon, but what affects all of these things? Really, what affects your muscles? What affects your tendons? What affects your bone? It's not the blood. It's not the lymphatic system. which is very important. It's what's called the neurological system. Now, when you understand the neurological system, you will see that it can control literally everything that you do. If it wants to wake you up, in the snap of a finger, wake up. If it wants to put you to sleep, in the snap of a finger, as you're watching TV, you slowly drift into a deep slumber. This is the neurological system, and whether you like it or not, it controls everything you do. Here's a test for you. The blinking contest is amateur to this game. How long can you stare at a mirror at yourself? You think you could go a day with staring at yourself in the mirror? 24 hours? You think if someone paid you $1 million, $2 million, $3 billion, $100 trillion, that you would have the ability to look in the mirror and keep your eyes open for 24 hours? That's it. That's all you got to do. You got to stand in front of a mirror, not blink for 24 hours straight. Now think about that. Do you really think you can do that? And if you think you can do that, man, kudos to you. Just make sure you check what's in your water. But for those who agree that they cannot do this, you're very smart and intelligent. But ask yourself this question. Why would you not think that you could keep your eyes open for 24 hours straight for $100 trillion? Your guesses are slightly correct, but this is the real answer. It's because your body's going to fight for survival. It's going to fight for what it's supposed to do. It's going to lubricate the eyes as best as it can. It's going to realign your focus as best as it can. It's the only thing it has to the outside world. So in a situation where it becomes compromised, and it's one of the most essential things that your body has for survival, it's going to shut you down, voluntary motion, and involuntarily blink your eyes. Yes, you can rewind that explanation to explain how the neurological system works. Again, no matter how much you think, no matter what you believe, your neurological system controls everything that you do. So when I tie this back to Kawhi Leonard, his body is compensating, and his neurological system is compensating. And it compensates even more when you push it even more. Does that make sense? The more you push, the more your body compensates. The less you push, the less your body compensates. But when you step into the shoes of an NBA player and the first game of the regular season is played, how hard do you think one goes? 100%? 100% relative to a first round playoff game. How hard do you think an NBA player goes now? Is it 100% or is it the highest level? See, he played that first game. He's going hard, but there's another intensity. There's always another level. So now the playoff time comes, first round, boom, let's say we win. How hard do you think the second round is? How hard can one go as he progresses in the playoff games? 100% or the max effort? Okay, boom. Let's say we advance to the next round of the playoffs. Western Conference Finals. You need 16 wins to win an NBA championship. Now you're there in the Western Conference Finals. You need 4 more victories to get to the championship. How hard does one go? Do you think Kawhi Leonard would be playing at a higher level than he did in the previous 2 rounds? My answer, and I'm guessing your guess and your answer would be yes. But what do you think his body's going to do? as I told you, the formula is the harder you go, the harder the neurological system compensates. So now that there's more compensation, what do you think is going to happen to the knee, the hip, and the back? See, I've been doing this for a very long time, and I know that if you're listening, this is not something you specialize in yourself. But the neurological system is something that I've been very familiar with, specializing in for a very long time. Many, many years, over a decade. Many years of film, many years of paying attention. So when I tell you about Kawhi Leonard's compensations, I want you to understand this is not something that I've created today. This is something I've built over many, many years. So as I tell you, if you look at how your body's segmented, what happens above the knee? The hip. What happens above the hip? The back. And if you know neurological compensations like I do, that is the pattern your body falls when compensations are trying to find their way to a safe haven. See, when Kawhi Leonard's knee went out, he had surgery, so his knee was in the compensation phase. But they took all their attention to try to correct this neurological compensations at the knee by strengthening the knee. But now the knee's strong, and it's good enough to compensate. So now the compensations go from the knee, and they work their way up to the hip. Okay, now we've been compensating, but let's get the hip strong enough and see what happens next. So now that the knee is strong, the hip is strong, where does the compensation have left to go? Ding, ding, ding. You guessed it. It's going to work its way up to the back. So now that you're following me, these are compensations that are occurring in Kawhi Leonard. Whether you know it, whether you like it, whether you believe me or not, you can keep trying to battle the test of time. But Kawhi Leonard is battling neurological compensations. And there are only certain couple ways to address these neurological compensations. One of the most important ways is a neurological intervention by the name of Square One. See, Square One is a neurological intervention that helps with compensations like this. Not only is it powerful, but in addition to other neurological interventions that I have been able to create and put into practice for many of the athletes that I work with these neurological interventions, Kawhi Leonard can decrease and eliminate these neurological compensations. In reducing these neurological compensations, it can improve his ability to stay healthy and injury-free. Now, I know that's simple math, and you may think, damn, if it's that easy, why is no one talking about it? The reason why no one's talking about it is because no one knows about it. I told you, the Los Angeles Clippers are a great staff. They're just not able to understand on the level that I am for an issue like this. So once they can take care of the neurological compensations, add some neurological interventions to a great rehab protocol. Now again, I don't want you to feel like I'm knocking on the staff. What I'm saying is that they're so brilliant in what they do. They have such a great focus on doing what they do. They kind of miss some things that may fall through the cracks. Now, if they're professionals and if they appreciate knowledge and if they appreciate understanding that they don't know everything, they'll accept these words. But if ego takes part in what they do on a day-to-day basis, they'll deny it. They'll feel like they are correct, that what I'm saying doesn't make any sense, and what I'm saying I'm making up. But if you are a true practitioner and someone who appreciates the fountain of knowledge and understands that you don't know it all, you would appreciate these words. In addition to what I specialize in, I don't specialize in what the Los Angeles Clippers medical staff specializes in. But I do know that they're missing neurological interventions in their protocol. And that's not my opinion. It's fact. Not fact off my words, but fact off the results. The best medical staff in the world has constructed a program for one of the best basketball players in the world who's getting paid millions and millions of dollars. And every year he gets hurt. So by definition, if you look at the path that he's been going through, what they're doing is not working. What kind of money are you going to put on FanDuel to say that the Los Angeles Clippers medical staff will keep Kawhi Leonard healthy throughout the year? What's the over and under? What do the odds makers say about that? Understand that these words are words that I take serious. I'm passionate about what I'm saying. My goal here is to spread knowledge and understanding of rehab protocols with addressing neurological interventions in addition to traditional rehab. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not pointing blame. I'm just trying to collaborate and come together to sharpen iron. Iron sharpen iron. That is the goal here. If anybody's listening from any professional organization, any collegiate organization, any high school organization, even at the youth level, no matter what age group you're in, this information is beneficial for you because everyone has a neurological system. The nervous system is important to address as much as it's important from a young age to an older age. With a meeting, with conversation, with just thought-provoking brainstorming, there can even become better things than what we have already created with the ability to collaborate. So with the words that I'm providing, if you are in any of those organizations and you really take your players' health seriously and you want to learn more, let's have the conversation. You can check out the TreasureTreeTherapy.com website. A lot of information is on there. Phone numbers on there. Emails on there. And you can also check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Master Cheeze is also available on YouTube with these videos. This is my PSA for the day. It's impromptu, out of the blue, just on my mind. Just want y'all to understand this. Let's figure it out. Let's make bigger things happen. In Jesus' name, amen.